The Zephyrian Council had spent 3 cycles planning the perfect assassination. Their target, Rafi Chen, the human diplomat whose stubborn negotiations had prevented their expansion into the Terran colonies for over a standard year. The plan was flawless in its simplicity. Invite him to a cultural exchange dinner and serve him Corvathian deathbloom, a toxin so potent it could exterminate entire planetary ecosystems. The human will be dead within moments of ingestion, hissed Counselor Vexter, his chitinous mandibles clicking with satisfaction. No species in the known galaxy can survive even a microscopic dose. Ambassador Alvina Solis, representing the neutral Andromedan Federation, watched from her diplomatic quarters as the plan unfolded. She had tried to warn the humans through encrypted channels, but the message had arrived too late. Now she could only observe through her surveillance feeds as Rafi entered the ornate Zephyrian dining chamber. The human appeared utterly relaxed, his casual demeanor a stark contrast to the formal ceremonial atmosphere the Zephyrians had crafted. He wore a simple diplomatic uniform and carried himself with the easy confidence that had made him so effective and so dangerous to alien powers seeking to exploit humanity's apparent naivety. "Honored human Rafi," Counselor Zekmoth intoned, his translator rendering the words in perfect standard. "We present to you a delicacy from our homeworld's most sacred gardens, Corvathian nectar stew." The bowl placed before Rafi contained what appeared to be an innocuous purple broth, its surface shimmering with an oily iridescence. The death bloom had been processed and concentrated until a single spoonful contained enough toxin to level a city. The Zephyrians watched with barely concealed anticipation as their unsuspecting victim lifted the ornate spoon. Alvina leaned forward in her chair, her 4 arms tensed with anxiety. She had witnessed the effects of Corvathian death bloom before. The seizures, the cellular breakdown, the horrifying dissolution of neural pathways. No being should have to endure such agony. Rafi brought the spoon to his lips and took a generous sip. The reaction was immediate and completely unexpected. "Oh wow," Rafi said, his eyes widening with genuine delight. "This is fantastic. What's the heat level on this? It's got that perfect burn that builds slowly but doesn't overwhelm the flavor profile." The Zephyrians stared in collective shock. Their translator units frantically recalibrated, certain they had malfunctioned. "I'm getting hints of something like ghost pepper, maybe some scorpion chili notes," Rafi continued, taking another enthusiastic spoonful. "And there's this underlying sweetness that balances the capsaicin perfectly. This is some serious gourmet heat." Counselor Vextar's compound eyes dilated with horror. The human wasn't dying. He was enjoying it. Perhaps you would prefer something milder," Zekmoth stammered, his voice translator crackling with static. "Milder? Are you kidding me?" Rafi laughed, diving into the bowl with increasing enthusiasm. "I've been looking for something like this ever since I left Earth. Most alien cuisine is so bland compared to what we're used to. No offense." From her monitoring station, Alvina watched in amazement as the human consumed the entire serving of concentrated planet killer with obvious relish. Her xenobiology training kicked in as she began recording everything, knowing this moment would rewrite interspecies medical texts across the galaxy. "This reminds me of this little hole-in-the-wall place in Bangkok," Rafi said conversationally, scraping the bowl clean. "They served tom yum that would literally make grown Marines cry. The owner used to say pain was just flavor leaving the comfort zone." The Zephyrian delegation had gone completely silent. Their assassination plot had become an unintentional cultural exchange, and they were utterly unprepared for this development. "You know," Rafi continued, patting his stomach with satisfaction, "my grandmother always said humans developed a tolerance for spicy food because we evolved alongside some of the most toxic plants on Earth. Capsaicin, allicin, piperine. What kills most species just adds flavor to our meals." Counselor Vextar found his voice, though it emerged as barely more than a whisper. You consumed enough Corvathian death bloom to sterilize a moon. How are you still alive?" Rafi blinked in surprise, then burst into laughter. "Death bloom, is that what you call it? Man, you guys need better marketing. On Earth, we'd probably bottle this stuff and sell it as artisanal hot sauce. I bet it would go great on tacos. The implications hit the Zephyrian Council like a meteor strike. Humanity's casual relationship with substances that could annihilate other species wasn't limited to their notorious alcohol consumption or their insane tendency to keep predators as pets. They regularly ingested compounds that served as biological weapons across the galaxy. Alvina activated her emergency diplomatic channels, her report already writing itself. The galactic community needed to understand what they were dealing with, a species so hardy, so adapted to toxins and extremes, that they had turned planet-killing poisons into recreational consumption. Would you happen to have the recipe? Rafi asked hopefully. I'd love to try making this at home. Maybe add some garlic, a little lime juice. As the Zephyrian Council struggled to process this revelation, Alvina realized she was witnessing something profound. The galaxy had spent eons developing increasingly sophisticated weapons and toxins, never imagining that somewhere in a quiet spiral arm, a species had evolved that considered such things seasoning. The assassination had failed spectacularly, but it had succeeded in revealing something far more terrifying to those who opposed humanity: their incredible, almost supernatural resilience. What killed gods, humans called lunch. And somewhere in the diplomatic quarters, Alvina smiled as she filed her report. The galaxy was about to learn that underestimating humans was the deadliest mistake of all.